Hey everyone, this is Carla R. Jenkins. As promised, I am going live to give my ITIL for Foundation experience. So, for those who don't know, uh, my name is Carla R. Jenkins. Thank you, both live and replay viewers, for taking out the time to watch this live stream. Late last night, I passed my ITIL for Foundation recertification exam. And this channel mostly deals with three things: IT, cloud, and project management. So, both live and replay viewers, thank you for taking out time of your day to watch this live stream. Give you a background about the exam, the resources I use, and the text experience. Because if you're watching this, then that means you're either aspiring to study ITIL, ITSM, which is service management, and or be in service management. So thank you for watching. So first, a little bit background on what ITIL is. ITIL used to stand for ITIL, which is IT Infrastructure Library. It was created by Axlos with the British government in the 1980s. The current iteration of that is ITIL 4. And I have been ITIL 3 certified foundation, ITIL 4 foundation, as well as ITIL 4 create, deliver, and support. So what's ITIL? ITIL is also one of the more prominently featured ITSM, which is IT Service Management certification. So if you don't know what ITIL and IT Service Management is, this is my cell phone. It's a physical product, but it also has services. One of them being phone to call, but it also has an array of apps as well as the internet. So you have different services on your phone. I'm gonna bring some of them up. So you see right here. So these are some of the services like mobile app, internet, phone, uh, RAM, which is random access memory. All of the stuff that you need in this is they manage the IT services. And the services are managed on, you have a cell phone contract. Well, that contract is a form of service level agreement, which will talk about the availability, how many minutes you get, what type of services you're supposed to have. And the if you get a monthly minutes, it's different service level agreement than a family plan, then a certain plan that you have for you know 6 gigabytes versus 16. So that's what service level agreement is. It's essentially your cell phone contract. Same with your internet. Same with everything you do is a service level agreement with IT services. So ITSM, service managers manage the services. An ITIL is one of the more prominently featured certifications. I got into this because I was in project management and I love being a techie. So that was a more technical way of delivery of IT services. I'm in the process of taking this exam again because this year, PeopleSource, which I learned acquire Axlos, is now implementing recertification. So every 3 years, you would have to get 60 continuous personal development credits, which is 20 a year, and or you can recertify by retaking the exam, which is what I opted to do. And also in the recertification, there's certain families. So the ITIL family, as I mentioned earlier in this video, I have ITIL 4 and ITIL 4 create, deliver, and support. If you take one of them in recertification, you most likely will renew all of them within the ITIL 4 family, which is good, which is different than CPD. So if you just want to retake the exam. Well, I retook the exam. I passed it 36 out of 40, which is 90%. For the foundation, you would need 26 out of 40, or which I think is 65%. So I had plus 10. And I was able to recertify and able to get the ITIL 4 based on the Ohio IMAP, which is the Individual Micro Credential Assistance Program, and I'm a native Ohioan. And the training provider was Global Links. I would like to thank them for the training as well as the exam voucher, allowing me to recertify for my ITIL 4. In addition to that, I also use Jason Dion that I used the first time for ITIL 4, as well as the Cloud Academy had an ITIL 4 learning path. two practice exams of 40 questions apiece. So I received 80 questions. And then I took a Simply Learn 25 free 25 question exam. Regarding global links, I really felt that that was high quality instruction. It was live instruction, but it also was a lot of practice exams, which I'm very grateful for. Just within the self-paced online learning, there were two practice exams of 40 questions apiece, so we get 80. In addition to that, they created their own Google form of 40. So you would have 120 questions or three for practice exams. I requested additional recommendations for ITIL 4, and I was able to get three separate sets, so cumulative, which was another 120 questions. So cumulatively, I received 240 questions or six full practice exams, in addition to live instruction from two instructors, which were great, and it was very helpful uh, for training an ITIL for certification. I highly recommend Global Links because they had six practice exams as well as very attentive instructors. They also gave us the ITIL 4 guide, which I highly recommend. And the reason why I actually recommend the Axlos ITIL 4 guide is because you want to get directly the source document of what the definitions actually are. Oftentimes, when you get into training programs, they interpret what they feel it is and they expound upon it, but you want to get directly to the source of what definition, what they call it, so that when you get to the exam is going to be based on what they they created the exam. People start is administering it. Therefore, you need to know the definitions. And essentially, for ITIL 4, this is going to be mostly definitions and concepts. I would also recommend within the ITIL 4 guide to really understand all of the definitions, but also what goes into the definitions and what's underneath it, the service value system and the service level, the service value chain. So the input is opportunity demand. The transformation is the service value chain, which has the ITIL for principles and activities. And then the output is value for the customer. That's very important, along with the guiding principles, the seven guiding principles, the four dimensions of service management, as well as the uh, as well as the continuing improvement. When you get to the exam, it's administered by PeopleCert. It's 40 questions. One of the things I would say about any and all of the practice exams that I took versus the exam is you have to know the definitions, but you also have to know the paraphrases of them. And as I mentioned earlier, read underneath it and understand the whole concept. They're not going to just directly cite what's in the ITIL 4 guide. It's certain things that you would need to pick up on and know. So, for instance, a change can be positive or negative that affects the service. So, for instance, what if the exam says you may have a positive effect on the service? Well, most people think change is a negative thing, then they won't get that that definition was changed. Also, know the difference between event, which is a change of state, which is, versus incident, which is an unplanned interruption, versus a problem, which is a collection of incidents. Because you have event and monitoring practice, then you have incident management practice, which is uh, re- resuming the active unplanned disruption activity, and problem management, which is making sure you restore operations and dealing with workarounds, which are temporary fixes, and known errors, which are permanent fixes that haven't been resolved yet. They've been analyzed but not resolved yet. So I would want to uh, focus on that too. Another thing that I would bring regarding the exam is that if you pay attention enough, you can kind of confirm whether or not you know something based on like definitions and different concepts. That's why I'm very big on the ITIL 4 guide and holistic a holistic knowledge of what you're doing. Because if you have the holistic knowledge of what you're doing, then you can kind of see the patterns of whether or not it's a definition or it's a concept, and just being able to like weed out. I did that for a concept of service desk for different channels. So I just being able to know that is very helpful. Uh, you have 60 minutes, so you have an hour for 40. I would, they don't have like a star button, I don't think. So you can just skip a question and go to the next one, and it'll be black because it turned orange when you solve it. I would also recommend that you leave some time available for review or any questions that you've skipped. It could go very, very fast. So just like 45 seconds for each question. Some will be very fast and very quick, but just pace yourself and do that during the set a timer. Like most people have a cell phone, put it on the clock like an hour from where you start, just to prepare and to guide you for, to prep you for testing. And so I passed it with 36 over 40. So that's the exam. I also talked about the resources. So let's talk about my experience with People Cert. If this one was not as good as the prior ones. I don't know what happened with Exam Shield, but the reason why I'm talking about the exam experience is because since I believe People Cert may have acquired Axlos, the only way to pass these exams are online. You can no longer, when I did ITIL 3, I did it in the physical testing center. So it wasn't just online digital. You could do a physical testing center, or you can go to Prometric, or you can go to Pearson VUE. You can't do that anymore. Now everything is administered through PeopleCert and Exam Shield. And when I had my exam at 9:30 p.m., they use military time 21:30. I get in at 9:10 because the exam would open up 10 minutes earlier. I did all the login protocol, download Exam Shield. They requested a reboot. Fine. Hey, Bruce, thanks for coming. Fine. They did it. The next thing you know, come back up, and I'm using Google Chrome at the time. All of a sudden, the Exam Shield isn't taking. So now it's past 9:30. Now we're getting to 9:50. So I had to use my cell phone to call the customer service number to get technical support, and I was on there for an hour. So this is what happened, and this is what I recommend. If you feel you're losing it, use your cell phone to call. Go on peoplecert.org, call to make sure you get to technical. They'll call the proctor that'll wait for you, because that's very important. You don't want it to be classified as a no-show. A second thing is this. In my experience, because Exam Shield is in the Microsoft Store, and you may have to rely on that, check out to see whether or not you got Microsoft Edge, because the compatibility was a little bit better. And on my end, if Exam Shield freezes, what I did was open up Task Manager. And the reason why I mentioned Task Manager is because a lot of people who do ITIL 4, they're not as technical as I am. So I knew Control Panel, Device Manager, Task Manager. These are basic troubleshooting things if you worked in a service desk or a help desk. So I do that, and I talked to the lady that I could quote wherever she was asking, beats per minute, core, all that. My internet connection was good. I was able to snipe the one that was hanging up. But I'm saying that because some of you who want to get into service delivery, they're not as technical, they're not as analytical, they're not, computer science, and they haven't fixed things or at least know the network and connectivity. So if that ever happens to you, you're on the technical support, what I would recommend is like pulling up the task manager, seeing what other background apps are available so that you can delete that. I also had to go into my downloads folder in the manila envelope, which they call the Microsoft Explorer folder. Going to downloads, delete the pre-existing exam shields, put it in the recycle bin, and then delete that too. And I'm talking about the technical things because if you have a problem, those are some of the things to resolve it or to communicate with the techno support that you're on the phone with. So now you come in here, you do the compatibility test, and then you get into the exam for 60 minutes. It took an hour. I was supposed to get on there at 9:30, be done by 10:30. I wasn't done until like 11:30, 11:45. I was very happy that I was able to hold it together for an hour, go through the tech thing, and still pass it plus 10. But I wanted to use this opportunity to just impart my knowledge, my background, uh, to help you like know what ITIL 4 is, know what ITSM, which is service management, give you my experience and my background so that you can have a better understanding and expectation of ITIL 4, the study, what's it used for, and of the recertification process, as well as the experience when people start and if you run into any technical issues. So I would like to thank all live and replay viewers for taking out time because this is, I believe, the first time I did direct to studio since they put on the limit that you had to have 1,000 followers, so 1,000 subscribers. I would also like to thank Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more for being live with me. As always, if you need help in ITIL 4 or service management, you can connect with me and comment here. You can also follow me at Carla Jenkins TV, and you can email me at info@carla_r_jenkins. So I would like to thank everybody for taking the time to watch my live stream video, and I'll see all of you in the next live stream. Have a wonderful day.